everybody, welcome to the Pagan Perspective. My name is Angel and I'm your Wednesday Subweek host, and this week we're going to be going over questions on evolving the way we identify. So it says, I've been practicing paganism, specifically witchcraft, for about 3 years now. I'm a solitary eclectic practitioner, so I sort of built my practice myself, so did I. When I began, I studied Wicca and identified as a Wiccan for a period of time, but that label doesn't really fit me anymore, primarily because I don't really celebrate the Sabbaths or do any special rites for them. The idea of that never really resonated with me, and my time management skills are mediocre, and I would end up forgetting. So my question is sort of a two-part thing, and I'm going to just do the first part, and then I'll do read the second part after. First part is, have your beliefs ever shifted to the point where you felt you needed the need to change how you identify in your practice? Apologize for my dog. Here's the thing. It's funny because last summer I went through some things that really made me reevaluate my life and everything in it. And I'm one of those people where I'm always in my head and I'm always questioning, why do I believe this? Do I still believe this? I don't like to get what I call crusty, which sounds really wrong. But I don't like things to get stale. I like everything to be fresh. I like to be present in the moment. I like to be part of a living participating part of this universe. And I kind of got in a rut, and last summer some things happened that really made me question a lot. I had a break with my coven, which is still very painful. I had some things happen in my local community which really made me pull back and participating in anything. Really in anything outside of just the friends I already have and my family. And because last summer the goddess I was working with changed after 20 something years from Isis to the Morgan, the Morgan has really shooken up my life a lot. And as much as I know that it is for the better of me and my life, a lot of it's been very hard knocks. And one of the things she's teaching me is to go with the flow. Now, normally I'm very rigid, structured. I like order, I come from a military family, so that's just, everything's had its place, and, it's just very structured. And I am still like that in a lot of ways. I have to be. I work full-time and I go to school full-time, and so in order for me to do well at both, I have to be very organized in those arenas. But as far as my practice, my beliefs are shifting, and normally I would kind of steer them the way I wanted them to go. But because I'm trying to go with the flow a little bit more and be less of a control freak, I am finding that I'm just kind of letting my path go where it's going to go. So I haven't really changed the way I identify myself right now, but I see that maybe at one point I may. Right now I'm doing it at an extremely painfully slow pace because, like I said, I work a full-time job and I have full-time school. So when I have time to read, when I'm not reading the mountain of books I already have to read, I'm learning more about Druidism and the different levels of that. And I'm finding that it is connecting with me a lot more. I do practice the Wheel of the Year, or I do participate in the Wheel of the Year, but not consistently. And I want to say that not consistently in that I don't do anything, but not consistently in the way I don't do the same thing at the same level every single year. And for a while I felt like I was doing less and less and less, and maybe the Wheel of the Year really wasn't resonating with me. But I found that I was doing things differently, meaning for spring equinox, I start my seeding. I have a grow area in the basement that I just got my fruit trees in. I have my seeds ready. I've got all my stuff down there ready to go. So that's what I'm going to be working on for the spring. And I find that getting my hands in the dirt and participating in nature, being an activist for animals, for the environment, these things feel very pagan-esque for me, and they connect me to my path more than the rituals that I was doing, and I wasn't really finding that they were meeting the same spiritual connection, if that makes any sense. So for me, yes, I feel like there's a shift happening. I'm in the middle of a shift. Where it's going to go and if I will change the way I identify myself is still yet to be seen, but that's where I am right now. Okay, and the second part is, do any of you focus less on the wheel of the year and more on other facets of paganism? And here's the thing about paganism. There's a lot of things that I consider pagan, and this is just me, but as far as working in nature, cleaning up a park, working in a garden, tending my plants. I have a lot of plants in my house and they're beautiful, but I have to keep working with those relationships because these plants are my plant family. So I work on these relationships by making sure that they're taken care of. They have ample water, ample light. They're fertilized when they need to be. Their soils change when they need to be. They're repotted if they needed to be. To me, that feels very pagan in my practice. So I find that maybe the way I identify to pagan things is becoming more mundane things. We all have very busy lives. The world is on high speed all the time. And I really would love to be one of those people that is so chill that I can meditate and just relax, but that's just not who I am. And I've tried to be that person and tried to incorporate that into with utter frustration. And then I realized I'm just not in that space yet. And that's okay. But I think for me that I don't always focus on the wheel of the year as far as doing the rituals I used to do. I used to have 2 altars, a working altar at my cycling altar, which was my Sabbats. It was my ritual space. And I have videos on my private channel of altar setups and things like that. And they were grandeur. I mean, there was a lot of grandeur in that, and I loved the energy of that kind of ritual. But over the last few years, with the shift in my mind on how I just live, and the shift in me going back to school to finish my degree, and just other things that I'm involved in, I don't have a lot of time for that. And I found that without me even realizing it, my spiritual mind said, okay, all right, well, if you don't have time for it, we still need to do it because it's right here. We like that feeling and we like that connection to deity. So we'll just do it in different ways. So working with plants, working in the garden, doing healings on my animals, being there for a friend, painting, quilting something, all of these different things for me are very spiritual, which I consider them pagan in the way that it connects you into that space. I'm learning a lot about permaculture right now, which is not necessarily pagan, but it's a big earth movement. It's sustainability. It's being conscious and responsible for your own space and what you use and what you use, and recycling on such an epic scale. And for me, that's very pagan because we're all about Mother Earth and protecting the environment, and so what better way than this whole ideology of permaculture? So I would say that yes, my focus on has not been so much on the Wheel of the Year, but it's shifted in other areas that I have identified as connecting to the pagan in me. And so, yeah, so that, if that hope that ramble helps. Anyway, so I want to thank everybody so much for wonderful comments. I'm really, really blessed to be part of such an awesome channel with really great people and a great group of the audience, all you guys out there who send in wonderful questions. I feel really, really humble and thankful for it. So I just want to say that. And I will see you guys next month. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Always like the likes, and until next time, blessed be. Bye.